to Big Beats fucking metal show. Welcome to Big Beats fucking metal show.
What up, my dudes, and welcome back to Big Pete's Metal Show. And today we're going to be talking about the one, the only Annihilator and their latest album, For the Demented. Yep, that's right. Canadians are back at it again, more specifically Jeff Waters. This is the second consecutive album since 1997's Remains that Jeff Waters has been on vocals. His last album on lead vocals being Suicide Society 2015, which was a bit of a letdown for Annihilator fans. It was a little more. Some of the choruses had a little more what Jeff Waters says commercial choruses, which means a little more popish, upbeat, a little mainstream sounding. But I still thought it was a pretty good album. Not their best, but this is straight out of fucking Never Neverland, Alice in Hell, and a little bit of Set the World on Fire. But before we get into that, I'm gonna say right off the bat, this is a fucking solid piece of old thrashers releasing new material in 2017 here. I'm gonna give it an 85 out of 100. I usually save the ratings for the end, but I gotta put this out there, and I'm not gonna put any clips of the music in this video because I heard Annihilator's been pretty strict with their YouTube policy shit. So I don't want to get my video blocked or taken down or nothing. So anyway, I urge you to go check out this album yourself, though. I really, really do. It's so fucking good. Anyway, let's get into the fucking music, shall we? So, we open up this track on Twisted Lobotomy, which was also the leading single, the first single that came out for this album, I think a couple months ago. And this is just fucking blow your head off, fucking thrash, classic Annihilator. And, it has the heavy choruses, and another thing I'm gonna say, throughout this entire album, the guitar playing, Jeff Waters leads, all his solos, and just all the riffs in general are just fucking fantastic. Jeff Waters is one of the best metal guitar players, one of the best guitar players, period, ever. And anyway, going on to track 2, One to Kill, and it really it carries over along with the first track, the hard-hitting, fast, thrashy riffs, and just the overall heaviness, the thrash of the music. And then we get to the title track, track 3. Now here's where a couple of my problems stem from this album, which aren't very much of a big problem, and it goes for a few of these tracks on here, but this one, I just feel like the lyrics weren't as good. They could have been a little stronger. I feel like the lyrics were a little more basic, a little weaker. Jeff Waters could have written a little bit better stuff, and it is what it is. It's got a really interesting guitar intro in the title track. I don't know really what word to put on it. It really sets the mood. And most of Jeff Waters' guitar work in this album and all Annihilator discography really sets the mood. And that's what it is. Annihilator is a very mood-setting band. I don't fucking know. But it is what it is. And we get to track 4, Pieces of You. The way it starts out, the way it sounds, hey, you're in for a twist. This ain't no fucking love ballad. It is a little bit of a softer song until you get to the middle of the song. Now the music in this song, the instrumentals, are amazing. They just really, once again, like I said, set the mood. And it's really important on this track because it's really fucked up. The lyrics, if you read the lyrics, I was listening to it, I was jamming, and then I heard, and your head on the counter, and fucking your limbs are twitching, and it was like, oh, what the fuck? And I read the lyrics, And I was like, holy shit, it's about fucking, like, he got mad at, like, his wife or his girlfriend or something, and he fucking killed him and cut him up and then ate him. Holy shit, man. And it was just, it was a little bit of a shock at first, you know. It was a fucked up track, but you know what? Now I love it. I've listened to this album probably 6 times now since I've got it, and which, by the way, it was really fucking hard to find in America. It's just, gotta throw that out there because fuck. And well, I did get this a week after it came out, but I've listened to it about 6 times already, which I usually listen to albums at least 3 times before I review them. But this is one of my favorite tracks, Pieces of You. Honestly, it is. And it's fucked up, but what are you gonna do? Track 5, The Demon You Know, is a very catchy chorus. It's a pretty heavy. It's got a really cool bass going on. There's a heavy emphasis on the bass in this track. Really not much else other than what I said. Phantom Asylum. We got some more really great guitar work, setting the mood. Altering the Altar. Really much the same thing I've said for everything else so far. And then we get to track 8, The Way. Now, this might turn some of the hardcore Annihilator fans off, but The Way is a little bit of more like, it's like a thrash metal, it's a thrash metal's version of like an upbeat type of like hard rock song. And it's just a fantastic track. I really loved it. I really love the way they implemented it in this. And then after that, we get to a short track called Dark, and it's just a 2-minute instrumental. Once again, really great guitar work until we get to track 10, the closing track, Not All There. And it deals with mental problems. The lyrics talk about mental problems, and Jeff Waters' lyrics really paint a picture. This is an example of when the lyrics were good. Same with track 4, Pieces of You. The lyrics were good and strong. They really got the point across. But some of the other lyrics weren't too good. But in this track, now the reason I said in the beginning this album reminds me a little bit of Set the World on Fire is because this track is like Brain Dance 2.0. If it's got like the wacky like breakdowns, it's got like the really like unorthodox type of stuff going on in this track, and it's the same thing that what happened with 1993's Brain Dance, which is the closing track to Set the World on Fire. So I think in closing, I already said my score, 85 out of 100, but I feel like Jeff Waters knows what Annihilator fans want, and he knows what thrash metal fans want. And if you don't think thrash metal by older bands is good this day and age, then you could go fuck yourselves, because it's pretty goddamn awesome, and this is a shining fucking example. Because Annihilator is a band that hasn't really changed their style since day one, and it shows almost 30 years later now on this new album for the Demented. And also, it must be stated, Rick's favorite band is Annihilator, so this is easily his #1 pick for album of the year, isn't it? #1 pick for album of the year by Rick, everyone. Annihilator for the Demented. Yep. As you can see here, this is some of his modeling shots with the new album. But yes, that's it for today. Thanks for checking out the video. Thanks for stopping by. Slap a like, subscribe, and, as always, keep it brutal. I'm out.